Hey guys, and welcome. My name is Michael, and I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer, and welcome to HeroForge Legendary, the show where we forge legendary characters using HeroForge. For this season, we are joined by special guests from around the internet, friends of mine, people who I've had the absolute pleasure of working with, and one of the people who I've probably had the most pleasure having to play with. Or getting to play with, not having to play with. It's like, oh my god, I have to play with this guy. Look, buddy.
Man. Come on. Like, fast and definitely at least.
Yeah, look, we're mid-season, okay? Like, you know, it's like the hump day of my season. No, I'm joking, guys.
Okay. I'm hump day.
If you can't tell,
Game, I'm playing hump day.
if you can't tell, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you fellow Australian, wonderful performer, and of course, all-round cool guy, Thomas, aka the Forgeling, from One for All and his own channel, the Forgeling channel. Hi, guy. Hey, dude, how you doing?
What's up, man? Yeah, no, dude, I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
It's a toasty, rainy morning, and
Sounds all right.
Some design and stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm super excited. Hey, thank you so much for the sub. Only time will tell. We have a raid incoming. Ooh. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, just while we've got, the opportunity here, guys, if you and the chat manage to make our headway through the hype train, which we like to call here on the channel the hype brain, I'm going to sit with Thomas, and we are going to create a short story for the character that is going to be made on HeroForge today. So thank you in advance. We will check. Oh, Thomas is really quiet compared to me. Oh, that's because I was using. Yep. Okay, hold on. Thomas, say something again.
What if I speak now? What if I talk about silence? What if I talk about absence of noise, which is just a kind of a tangent of silence? How are we doing for the sound?
What if I hit the mute button? No.
Yep, good choice. Always a good choice.
No, that's cool. No. I always forget. I always forget that when I do some of the other streams and I have music, I have to tune that right back down. So they go. Oh, thank you for the. Oh my god, thank you so much, McBluff, for 3 gifted subs, gifting a sub to Hero Zone, Quincy's Tavern, the Lord of Cookies. Thank you, of course, to my name Karen for the 12-month sub, our anniversary. Oh, it's so cute. Thank you so much. And, of course, Mally, I did see that. Thank you so much for the $25. We'll come back to the donations in just a second. Wow, guys, give me I'm doing intros, okay. Sorry, my channel is just my guys. The audience is... They like to disrupt me here. It's almost like, how I color spray Dread. My group doesn't like me to get started on games because they want me to spend 20 minutes saying thank you to everyone. No, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. So let's break this down.
And of course, paying towards getting your face painted on a building. That's
yes, which perfectly segues me. Thank you to what we're raising money for. So for the month up until the 10th. So actually just about a week now, I think. Yeah, about a week and a day. Distraction. Thank you, Calindria, for the 1,000 bits and the distraction.
It did work. He's now not talking about anything important.
Not talking about anything important. It's fine. So anyway, we are raising money to try and hit the $5,000 mark to donate to the Kickstarter for Viva La Dirt League. In doing so, we will be able to make the tier that allows me to put a mural on the Viva La Dirt League's new studio that they're going to be building. More importantly, those of you who have followed my channel and know of our relationships with people know that one of the members of our stream team, Mr. Robert Hartley GM, works and does amazing content for Viva La Dirt League, and it is going to be my goal, my dream, to put my face on the front of his building so that he has to see it every single time he goes to work. Which I think is a worthwhile cause. It's a very worthwhile cause. Someone say hype. Thank you so much, Odd Bandicoot, for the bits, and only time will tell UK. Hi, so good to see you, and thank you for the bits as well. Oh, okay. We are currently sitting at a comfy $2,335, which is very close to our 50% mark, which is just incredible. So thank you all for your mad support. You guys are incredible and awesome. But again, as much as we have all of the donations and things like that, we're here not to talk about myself or the fact that Rob is going to get pranked so hard in a few days. We are here to talk about...
Gotta prank you so hard, bro.
Yeah. Oh my God. Quit pranking yourself. Quit pranking yourself.
Yeah, it's such a weird. I don't know why. It's like it's a weird way to phrase it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, so Rob's been telling everyone that we won't make the donation cut, and I'm like,
Oh,
your reverse psychology won't work on me. I'm gonna try twice as hard now, and it has nothing to do with you.
I mean, how much for like a life-size bust?
Ooh.
Instead of a painting? What if there's just like a small statue, an effigy, a monument?
I could just make one and just send it to him.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to try. You know what? Actually, it was really funny. Like, I actually know the sculptor from like Vast Grimm, and he does like all these like cool like really awesome sculpts and stuff like that. I mean, we could get it done. We could get it done.
There you go.
There you go. That's the next project, next Kickstarter. How much?
Playing with Dag's bust.
Yeah, that's it. I'll buy like all the Dag merchandise with just mugs with my face on it, and then like, you know, coasters with my face on it. Just send them all to Rob, right? Won't sell a single one. We'll just
100%.
Hundreds and thousands of merch to Rob. That's
like straight onto Alibaba. Get like minimum quantities printed. We're talking hundreds, 500s. Let's happen.
Yeah, that's exactly it. 100%.
Rob's new house.
Oh my God, I'm so distracted. Anyway,
sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to make a legendary hero for our legendary friend, and that is, of course, Forgeling. Now, during the course of today's game, we're going to invite you, the audience, to ask questions of the two of us, whether it's about our role-playing experiences, or specifically Thomas's role-playing experiences, because, I mean, I feel like you guys all should know mine by now. And seriously, I talk about, like, the only thing I talk about more than HeroForge is myself, so anyway. So feel free to ask questions. Also, if you have any thoughts or things that you need advice for, do let me know, and we will, of course, endeavor to, if you've got like, hey, you know, I love this idea for a character. What do you guys think? Or, hey, Thomas, you know, if you were caught between a eggplant and a giant boulder, you know, what would you do to, you know, use the
skull?
There you go. You know,
so Shake Skull just dropped into chat. He's a good friend over at the Dilf Hunters.
Hey. Welcome in. How do you say that name?
Shake Skull.
Shake Skull.
I believe.
That's cool. Shake Skull. That's a very Viking name. That's like,
he's very Viking.
Oh, okay, there you go. I was gonna say it's definitely intimidating me in chat. Like, oh, okay, don't mess with that. You know what? I'm feeling so terrified of this guy. I'm just gonna have to gift him a sub. There you go, done. You've been gifted a sub because you just terrified me into submission there, buddy. There it is. There's your. I'm so sorry. Whatever I did, I'm sorry. All right. So anyway, so free casual chat. We're gonna be talking. We're gonna be hanging out. Oh, my name Karen donating $50. Thank you so much.
That is a very solid amount. Thank you, Karen.
You know what? I lied. I can't gift you a sub, and only because my app is doing weird things. So I will give you a sub, but when I'm on my like browser and stuff like that. All right, let's begin, shall we? Let's kick this into overdrive. We have now completed our level 2 sub, which means we get to feed hype brains to our lovely phantom. There you go, eating all those hype brains. All right. Let's talk characters. Now, I guess this leads into the very, very first question I'd like to ask you, Thomas, and that is, of course, I think that a lot of people tend to have leanings towards favorite types of characters, right? And I'm not talking about like, oh, I love bards or oh, I love clerics, right? Like for me, I love anti-heroes, right? I love characters who are heroic, but they have that thing that you don't really quite like about them, you know? That's the kind of characters I enjoy playing. What archetype of characters do you love playing?
I have always, and I believe it wholeheartedly, been a Chaos Gremlin. I think that anything which destabilizes the norm, not necessarily in a negative way, like you're not here to make the spotlight about you, but you're making people question the surroundings, you're making the DM improvise, and you're making everyone else sort of respond to new topics is exactly where I lie.
Okay, I like that. So it's kind of like you're putting them in a position where I guess this is kind of like almost like a philosophy on life, really, isn't it? Like it's one of those moments where you're like, um, a straight line can get really boring if you follow that straight line every single time you go out. But a chaos gremlin is kind of someone who adds curves to those lines and makes the journey a little bit more unique, a little bit more interesting than if they were to, if you were just simply to play a standard game.
And I feel that, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily moving or shifting the line, but just like showing you how wide this line is at certain parts.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? That actually goes into a really good philosophy because, obviously you've heard of like, the railroading GM, the person who puts you on the tracks and sends you on your way.
Mm,
I've always been a big subscriber of the best GMs are ones who build a railroad, but they're so wide that you can never see the edges, you know? And you don't
okay.
realize you're on the railroad. You're just going down it. And again, it makes plenty of room for people who do play Chaos Gremlins who
You're just like, wow, that's a lot of hardwood.
where's my elbow? Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. But yeah. So there's lots of wiggle room for those kind of characters. I love those kind of characters. Honestly, I don't love them in like one shots overly. Sometimes because sometimes it's like you've only got like X amount of hours to go from start to finish. So it can be a little rough. But I mean, for a long-term campaign and stuff like that, they are some of my favorite and best characters.
There's definitely a place for them in both one shots and long form games, but it's really down to the responsibility of the player. Like
Yeah.
if you're doing it just to kind of make other people, like, I guess, ruin other people's moments, then it's really not the form for you. But if you're using it as an opportunity to celebrate or enhance or like give people opportunities, it's a very powerful position, and it's almost celebratory in its nature.
I can definitely see that. And it's the same thing can be said about evil characters as well.
For
In the wrong
sure.
hands, it can just be painful and god awful. But in the hands of someone who knows what they're doing and who is kind of responsible with it, can be a lot of fun. Absolutely. Um, okay, I like that. I like that a lot. So where do we start? What kind of character would we like to build?
I mean, is there something we can throw to the chat? Like,
We can throw it to the
uh,
chat.
I mean, is it too weird to say give us a race?
Give us a species. I think
A
is
species.
I think
Sorry.
that's an easier way to give us a species. We can throw it to chat. In the meantime, let's create a scenario for this particular character. So, as many of you know, I've been working on my homebrew world of Olestria, which is a vast and wide, expansive world based on things like true naming and monsters all being born of the Tarask, and there's lots of little story bits here. One of the big elements to my world is inspired by the way that Pathfinder writes stuff is a lot of my
Oh, wow, is
worlds.
that Pathfinder? Oh my god, I love Pathfinder. Whoa, sorry. Okay.
Someone's hitting the Rob button. Just saying. But
we all have one.
yeah, who distributed these? I guess my question. Sorry. So basically, in this world, a lot of the cultures that I have are based, but not entirely on, real world cultures. Right? Like nothing annoys me more than when someone goes, "This is Egypt," and I'm like, "Okay, cool, I get that." There's sand, there are pyramids.
Thanks.
I get it. And then all of a sudden it's like, yes, and here's Anubis. It's like, wait, no, what? And then you've actually got real world, like, like the Egyptian pantheon and stuff like that. That for me kind of bugged me a little. I'm like, yeah, I get that you're saying that they're the ancient gods, but like a little effort, please. So for me,
Definitely being inspired by is so strong, but
yeah, but like just downright copying is just like meh. Anyway, I digress. I guess culturally, what kind of cultures really capture your imagination?
oh, I think a lot of nomadic lifestyles. I quite
Mm.
and like I mean, without. So it's a bit of a difficult topic because I don't always know the right information.
Let's go to this because we're talking about cultural inspiration, not necessarily appropriation or like focusing on particular races, and we're not looking specifically at the people, but we're looking at the mythos behind a lot of stuff that exists around that area. Like for example, if we talk about dragons, right?
Yeah.
We can't talk about dragons without talking about, say, Chinese dragons, or talking about
Mm.
Thailand dragons, or talking about French dragons. You know,
And the
like
difference between wyverns and worms and
exactly, 100%, 100%. So I guess we'll go out into chat and we'll say, guys, you know, like we're talking about these in the sense of inspiration and not talking about these in sense of reflection. So, for example, if we say that I love the idea of the Mongolian horde from
Mm.
history, that does not obviously reflect our understanding of Mongolia today. It's just this lore, this mythos that comes about from the inspiration of history is something that is captivating or something that is of interest, not a it's
That's
not a
fair.
reflection on any people or persons.
I actually quite love the First People's Dreamtime.
Mm.
I think there's an incredible strong narrative, and the fact that it's passed around and it's also regional, but it's national as well is incredible.
Yeah, I love that. I think I agree. And one thing that I've always loved is and almost like the way they explain basic things in the form of like these stories. Like for me,
Mm.
like the indigenous Australian culture just has I mean, they are just wonderful storytellers. Like, and I feel like that doesn't get celebrated enough or doesn't get appreciated enough. Like have you heard of the, I mean, it's a very children's story type thing, but the Tidluck?
No, I haven't heard the Chitha.
So it's the story of a frog who basically just drinks up all the water.
Wait, yes, I have the. Yeah, okay, sorry.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then all the animals kind of get really pissed off. They get it to laugh, and then it carves out
Yeah.
the waterways and things like that. And it was an explanation as to why the rivers are the way they are. But you could definitely imagine like a scenario where a young kid tells their granddad like, why do the rivers run the way they run? And this is the story that they get told. That's the nature, I feel, very heavily of like the dreaming, is these
Mm.
tales, these stories, and even these the idea of the dreamland. Like, I mean, the rainbow snake, the rainbow serpent, another
Which could be Jomanga, I think is the name. The
Yomendia.
world serpent?
Yeah,
Yomendia serpent.
Yomendia. Yeah,
Wow,
yep.
look at my pronunciation.
That's fine. It's fine. Look, we say this often. There is an alternate universe where Dag is like running around chasing after Bigfoot. So I love. I'm a very big fan of like real world mythos and stuff like that. And the similarities between the Jormungandr is another. Yes, no, Jormungandr. That's right. Jormundir was my character. Sorry, I built a
Shake
sorry.
skull.
Sorry.
I knew it was
Thank
here
you.
for a reason.
Thank you. So here's briefly on that. Actually, because I've got him actually here. I actually have a character who I based on Jormungandr, whose name was Jormundir, and this was the character right there.
Right. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And his chains would wrap around his enemies, and he'd crush them. That was basically the idea behind there. So that was his whole thing. So definitely loved this character. He's one of my favorite ones.
No, that's cool.
But anyway, I digress. Jormungandr and the Rainbow Serpent definitely have a lot of similarities in that vein as well. And there are plenty of other ones as well. Like tales of like serpents that are so long, you would never see the head. You only ever see the midsection. Lots of stories about that, which is
and Dragon Ball Z, the Serpent's Road. It's
Snake Road.
Dragon's Snake Road. Yeah,
Snake Road. Yep, Snake Road.
Easy.
Exactly. Exact same sort of scenario.
Who's to say that Goku isn't Thor?
There you go. Could be. Who knows? Also, thank you so much to Calindria for tipping $10 towards our wonderful cause. Now, we didn't get too many species here. But we did have Calindria throw out Tengu. Yep, we did have Calindria throw out Tengu. So I think, unless we get another one, we'll throw out the Tengu. You thinking a male or female character here? Or a non-binary character?
I think let's go non-binary. Like, I mean, well, I guess why is it important with a Tengu right now?
Mostly because I can give it boobies or I can give it no boobies.
Which makes me very uncomfortable, because why would a humanoid bird have biddies?
Clearly egg sacs. That's how they just sort of, and then the eggs come out.
I don't like any of that.
For war. For war. Actually, you know what? Someone actually said this to me the other day, and I thought it was hilarious. They were talking about like how Yanti women have breasts. Like, why does this make sense? It's like, well, Easy. They developed breasts to attract really stupid men for
Oh
prey.
yeah. I mean, we are pretty stupid, so fair
We are
call.
very stupid. We are a very stupid group of people. But anyway, I digress. The yeah, no, yeah, I don't know. It's just male and female. I think also if I were to look really closely, I think the size scaling, besides the side scaling and the chest, which of course, if I mean again, if we use the man's body type and then we simply go into the measurements and stuff like that, I mean
Mm.
we can add a bust.
Oh yeah, like okay, fair enough. What are you hiding down there?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna change too much here. So, hey Corey, welcome in. Everyone's talking about Dag merch now. It's like, look, I haven't made Dag. Actually, you know what? I'm lying. I have made a bit of Dag merch, which has only thus far gone to Gen Con.
What is the most cursed bit of Dag merch we could design?
it was a stubby holder.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, it was a Dag. Here, actually, I got one here. Hold on, give me a sec. It's one of my old ones. It's actually got my very rare. I mean, it's crazy rare because I don't think anyone actually has it. One of my one of my rare actual signatures, like for like my celebrity signatures. So this is the Dag stubby holder,
Very nice, very nice.
and then that is my signature. It's the
Look
Dag
at
seal.
him. He's got a celebrity signature.
I do.
Well, that's quite funny. Like the only reason I'm laughing about it because it just how absurd it feels to me that I had to sign posters right at a
Yeah.
convention, and it's just like whoa. Why do you want this?
Yeah, you know what? That was exactly it. That's how I felt when I was at Gen Con because it was the same thing. It was like like you want my signature? Okay, I guess. And I had to think about like
Okay.
well, because I mean I reflexively almost just did my signature that I use for like you know
This
what I
is for
mean?
the
Like for
bank.
like
You don't want this one.
yeah, and I was just like, oh wait, no, I can't use that, and so I was like, oh well, I need to have, and Dead Aussie Gamer is just so long, so I was like, okay, cool, we'll just do the Dag, and then I was like, oh, but that looks really boring, and so again, I just played around with it until I came up with that one, because now I've got like the D, and then the little A, and then the G, and then the Hua, and it's like a Dag.
It is a big hua.
It's a Hua, yeah, it's like a flourish, like Hua, because I was also thinking about like. I regret it though because I didn't think about how many I would need to do.
Oh yeah.
And that is
Oh
very
yeah.
complex. Because you get the D wrong and just the whole thing snake baits. Thank you, man.
Anything more than 2 lines and you're struggling.
Yeah, feeling that. Okay, so we've got a thank you, Clem. All right. So we've got a Tengu now. And we've got the idea of maybe looking culturally towards the Dreamlands, which is kind of cool. Which, of course, in my world of Alestria, there is a Dreamland-inspired area of my world. In my world, there's an area known as the Craglands, and the Craglands are kind of like this war-torn, blighted kind of landscape. It only became this way because, long story short, the orcs, the hobgoblins, the manticore, who are humanoid and not quadrupeds. All of these guys have basically a culture heavily set on war and battle and fighting, but there are no wars to fight. So the Craglands is kind of like their Super Bowl. They kind of just they're proving grounds where they just constantly fight. Trouble is that humans don't speak orc or hobgoblin or manticore, so they think there's actually a war happening where these three groups are trying to break into the human lands. So they've built like three massive walls between the human lands and the Craglands, and the rest of the other races are like, wow, the humans really are going all out here. Okay, let's get them. And they're inciting the war because they're here to just kind of have a bit of fun. Yeah, and it's just this. It's gone for like a couple of decades now. This big old battle. In the midst of this huge nonsense that's going on, there is a place that's kind of off limits because it's kind of considered to be sacred ground, and it's known as the what was it called? Damn it. It was a ravine that is filled with a rainbow fog. It is the Valley of Dreams. That's it. So the
Mm-hmm.
Valley of Dreams is where this race of like kind of tree people live in the valley.
Mm,
And depending on when you go in and how you go in, the rainbow colored mists has a variety of different magical effects to those who live there. Sometimes it can do things like change the color of your skin. It can do things like give you visions of the future. Some
mm,
people say it could even take the past and allow you to change elements of your history, so that when you walk in, you might have a wife and a child, and then you remember things differently, and you emerge, and your wife and child are different. Like it's a very mystical and magical place, and the only people who are quote unquote unaffected by this are the tree people that live here.
okay.
So that was very heavily inspired by the idea of kind of the dreamland walks and the stories and things like that, because it's
Like
not
spirit
about
worlds.
yeah. So that is that's kind of I guess my region of this kind of inspired space with the nomadic tribe of tree people.
Mm.
Would you like to maybe look at having this character sort of be in an adventure in and around that area?
Yeah, for sure. I think the like if he's not from there originally, he's definitely spent a lot of time there, or they have spent a lot of time there. Sorry, pardon me pronouns.
That's great.
Um, but I'm definitely picking up very much on like a Rafiki or a Iroh type character who's
Ooh, I like
sort
that.
of more Boomy actually, not Iroh. You know King Boomy from
Yeah,
Avatar?
from Avatar. Yeah, of course I do. Of course I know
Yeah.
Boomy.
Yeah. But it's like sort of while there's chaos, there's definitely like an element of knowledge or wisdom behind it.
Okay, I like that. I like that. So this guy is almost like a guide for people who aren't necessarily like locals, you know what I mean? Like someone who's like, okay, so if you're looking at like, let's take the Lion King reference, right? So
Hmm.
you would have like the lions who would know their history, and you have those scenes where Mufasa's like, Simba, this is blah 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 blah. But then you
Hmm.
have Rafiki, who is neither a lion but understands the history and culture of the lion prides and the fact that you are Simba and you need to go back because you're being dumb,
Hmm.
right? And I could summon your father through the clouds, maybe, sort of. I don't know. It's very hard to
Yeah.
say. I could be
Did
magic.
I don't
Who
know.
knows? Oh, he's a banana. Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, I can't believe you did that. It's like, what did I do?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of like I imagine is kind of the vibe we're going with. Like a guide for people who maybe lost,
Hmm.
looking for some sort of looking
Sorry
for
about that
something.
dog, by the way. That is not mine.
No, that's fine. One thing. Okay, well, that's a shame because one thing I was going to say is like on this channel we are very animal friendly. So if you do have animals that come on to stream or make noise, then it is only required that you show them to everyone
Oh,
because
okay. No,
yeah.
if that was my cat, I'd be very, very worried.
Dog, your cat's got a sore throat. Hey, Quild. Hi. Oh, it's Mr. Bodic Inspiration, says Quild.
Yeah. Okay, that's
No, you inspire me, mate.
oh, that's a bit cute.
There you go. All right. So there's no pup. There's no dad. Yeah. We'll keep going. Keep going. All right. So let's go into some audience questions now, guys. If you do have any questions in chat, again, start them off with the word question, and then ask your questions so that we can answer them as best we can. If you've got questions for Thomas or if you've got questions for the both of us, feel free to ask.
This is mainly
Um,
focused at Clem. Just remember this: we're a soft M.
yes, it's a soft M. Soft M today. That's okay. I know Clem.
Of course, you know Clem.
Yeah, of course I know Clem. Okay. Have I? Okay. Well, I apparently there were no questions, but there are a few statements here. From Jegaskull. My first D&D character ever was a Fire Genasi Beast Ranger by the name of Magnus Mucephalheim with a giant poisonous snake buddy named Yorman. That's really
Ah,
cool. I like that. That's very clever. I think that's really rad. Did you wear them like as a sash? Like around you, like.
or is it kind of like the Crudes where it's just called belt?
Yeah, yeah. What do you think about that for animal companions? Like, because animal companions and familiars tend to get left behind pretty quickly. How do you feel about, you
Um,
know?
I, I quite like animal companions. I try not to force it.
Mm,
Um, just because I think in the sort of the whimsical nature of pets, it's not permanent attachments. I don't know. It gets a little bit complicated. It can get a little bit devicey or bit metagame. If they go, oh, my pet does this and does this and does this, and you're like, does it though?
Yeah, no, exactly. And here's the thing. You always have those one or two people who are like, oh yeah, my pet's like really useful and does all these things, and then as soon as you try and attack it, it's like,
Yeah,
how dare you? And it's like,
right.
and I'm like, easily like this. It's like, if an animal companion is kind of like a aesthetic, I'll leave it alone for the most part, right? Like I won't do anything. If you try every chance you get to try and sneak around or do things, sometimes I'll even just say, cool, roll a percentage check. If actually this happened very recently. A person used their cat to go scout, and I said, sweet, make a check to have your pet go and scout. And as it did so, it was like, cool, okay, cool, roll percentile. Okay, this happened. You see a flash of lightning, it comes back and it's covered with electric burns. It's like, something happened. And those moments are okay to do.
And I think they're 100% fine. Oh, sorry.
We do have a couple of questions now. So here we go. Question 1, can we see the cat?
No, because I'll never get him back out of the room.
Excellent. Question 2. Dad, can we see this merch that we've heard so much about? There. Boom. Game hard, die trying. It's a stubby. You know what a stubby is? A stubby is for putting cans into the stubby and keeping them nice and cool. Don't ask me why. I tried to get these made in America so that I didn't have to pay shipping costs. They do not make these in America. Even the same company who made this, their American branch doesn't make stubby holders, which was weird. So I had to take them in a big briefcase like a freaking salesman, like one of those old-timey dudes. Like, hey, had a briefcase just filled with freaking stubby holders.
Come on, surely you want some. Yeah.
Yep. Question here. Can a Tengu hunter have a human familiar?
I love it. Super messed up.
I mean, that would be slavery.
But is it slavery if it's just like a companionship? Because I don't assume that all pets are slaves.
I mean, okay, look, if it was like a husband and wife combo, or like a mutual benefit kind of understanding, then I think, yeah, why not? I mean, in the same way that I think that would be more the leadership feat than it would be the companion thing, but that's going back into Pathfinder a little bit, not so much the D&D stuff. In D&D, I don't know how you would go about having like a sidekick, as it were, or a companion like that.
I think it treads the line sort of too closely to like incorporation of children, like in your adventure, which often has a lot of, especially if stuff gets violent, it can tread a lot of lines or a lot of barriers for some players. So,
interesting idea, interesting thought process. Because here's the thing: sometimes theory builds are just that. They're theory builds. They're not necessarily good for games, but they're interesting concepts to chew on them in the brain. Question from Odd Bandicoot. If a character is a shapeshifter, is there something that could represent that physically aside from a backstory and class lore?
I think yes. What are your opinions on this? Because I might feel a bit strong.
I think yes. I think that I think like if you have a werewolf, there would be some like you would be maybe like a little bit more hairy than normal, or if you were like a vampire who could shapeshift into bats and stuff like that, you might have like very strangely shaped ears like that of a bat. Changelings, great example, have kind of pale, very malleable features, where like I think they've got like a barely formed mouth and like kind of the very flat nose. And they, you can kind of see why the pale skin allows it to change shape and color like an octopus kind of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, I think shapeshifters have a number of ways that they can represent that. Whether they can shapeshift into multiple things or if they just shapeshift into the one thing. Yeah, I think I don't want to say saddest because I don't want to kink shame anyone. But I think the saddest one is when I deal with kitsune who just have the little fox ears. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't unanime that. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's just
that's fair. Like I mean, like this isn't even a kink shame because have you played Final Fantasy 12? The Vera, man. Okay. Like annoyingly attractive for animalistic looking creatures, bipedal animal. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, what about you? What do you think in regards to some physical?
I think the representation of any morphing character, I classify into sort of two areas, and that is the apparel or the clothing they wear, or like items on them, or the actual physical being.
Mm.
You sort of touched on the physical being, like the presentation of hair and extra hair to sort of signify where it's going, or the actual absence of form to like incite the idea of what it can become. Um, so I completely agree with the points that you made, and I would tack on like when you think about something as basic as the Hulk, from a costume design standpoint, the pants which constantly get shredded and then need to be repurchased to the absence of shirt. These kind of I guess resizing issues with pieces that aren't actually part of the being are great representations. So the fact that a piece of clothing could be designed to for a shapeshift, like imagine having sleeves that like sort of were really open down the side so that the arms could get bigger, or like
Yeah,
it was
that's
like
really
more of
cool.
a wrap or something like that. Yeah, I think that that's a really fun way to represent transformation.
You know what'd be really cool is if you played on that with like magic armor, like scale mail that has the ability to like interlocking plate. So as you
Mm.
expand in size, it sort of goes and just like, unlocks or unclips
Well,
that
well,
armor.
that's a beautiful thing about chainmail. Like I was wearing chainmail the other day because in LARP we do. When it just naturally shrinks. Like chainmail's so stretchy in a way that having it designed and like combining that in like sort of a plate sense to have it
Mm.
morph out into something and look almost entirely different would be so much fun.
No, I agree. I think that yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah. Hey, that's excellent question. Thank you so much
Good
for that one.
question. Yeah.
All right, let's make some progress on this Tengu now. So what we know about the Tengu is, in my world at the very least, there are two different types or two different species. There are the Tengu, who are Japanese inspired from the island of Kashina. They are guardians of the forest, and they usually have a quote unquote warlord or leader within a particular region that commands armies of Tengus. So it's kind of like almost a patriarchal society in a way.
Hmm.
And the Tengu, the it's called the Dai Tengu, is very much the Japanese mythology one, which is the red face with the big nose kind of thing.
Hmm.
And this person is supposed to be usually like the grandfather or the great grandfather. However, the history here is that in my world they rip off the Dai Tengu's mask at the end of their death or at the end of their
Hmm.
life, and then the next person who wields it changes them from the beaked Tengu into the Dai Tengu. So the Dai Tengu
Hmm.
is more like a heritage
Right.
ancestry that
Okay.
passes down. So those are the Tengu. In addition, I have the Raven folk, who are more, I guess, akin to the Fae. Because in my world, the animal folk were the first kind of testing grounds for life. So what
Hmm.
they did was they went, oh, look, this is a crow. We need to play around with sentient species. And they started evolving them. Um, and as the gods started doing that, they created the Raven folk, who are basically Tengus with massive wings. So they are kind of more closely related to the Corvids than the Tengu are, which is
Okay.
yeah why they're called the Raven folk. They're kind of in yeah. Have you ever watched Robin Hood, the Disney film, the cartoon?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's very Sherwood, Nottingham, kind of like
Wind in the
alt.
Willows, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where the Raven folk come in. As far as who and what they are, they live on the cliff sides. They're kind of like just regular people. Like they don't. There's no overarching, kind of like all Ravenfolk are blah. But they are considered to be the most, I guess. You know how when you watch Kung Fu Panda, there's like tons of like geese and rabbits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Among the bird people, there are just tons of corvids. Like they're there. You can be anything with them. They have wings. They do stuff. There is an order of monks that rip off their arms, which is kind of weird, but they
Okay.
basically spurn the ground.
I can imagine like getting the first one off would be a lot easier than the second one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Uh,
hold this. Yes. Now.
Sweet. And then?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's an order of monks who basically just say we will never touch the ground again, and they tear off their arms and they don't have them anymore.
Mm,
Yeah, it's weird,
okay.
but yeah, that's it. So those are the Tengu and the Raven folk in my world. Do with that what you will. As far as making characters go, you can obviously embrace some of that, or you can reject it, which I think is an important element to remember for any character.
Well, I think it would be. I get a little bit funny about sort of making a bit of a cliche, but then again, I don't mind the parallels between the Raven folk and sort of prophecies or magic or ideas. So,
Mm.
like, I think let's lean into that.
Okay, so we're looking at ravens in the vein of like prophecies and visions and omens. Omens, that's the word
Hmm.
I'm looking for.
Omen.
Omens.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I guess if we're looking at omen characters, we're looking at kind of oracles. We're looking at shamans. We're looking at any of the words, kind of like what leans out at you?
Well, I guess you were saying monistic,
Monistic. Yeah. Yeah.
monistic kind of theologies, and I think that's um I guess being the way I sort of look at it is that there's like the theologies or ideas that have been developed, or there's the ones which are currently present and tangible in the world. And you're talking about this rainbow fog. So what happens when someone with the ideologies of a sort of a more passed down monistic tradition gets involved in something which is very real and present and is almost a monistic tradition in another place, and then goes forth and tries to find the absence and presence and dualities of these.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
guess like a really sort of lost concept.
Okay, I like that. I like that. It's almost like a okay. So I imagine for a character like this, we'd be looking at someone with like kind of gathered materials, like
Mhm.
that kind of also, like dips into a bunch of things like so I don't imagine them wearing like, new clothes or anything like that. Um and there are a couple of like really interesting outfits and stuff like that work well. Um I guess where would you start if you were designing if you're designing a character or a miniature by appearance?
I think, and this is probably where I differ to some. Like, I think the posture is super important.
Okay.
Like the mannerisms, the way you walk, the way they talk, facial expressions, it sort of dictates how they interact with their surroundings.
Okay. So, what posture, what pose do you imagine for this kind of individual?
Well, I mean, I've got probably two main ones, and that is you can kind of get the old decrepit looking wise man. I'm very weak, or you can have like quite a proud, empowered figure who is. Well, yeah, I mean, either one of those two. Kind of, which way are you leaning?
Well, it's the characters for you. As far as the an individual for myself, I
Hmm.
I would try to accent exactly what type of role play you'd want to go with. So if you wanted to play like kind of the slightly dottery, kind of character, you know what I mean? I would lean towards like kind of the old kook, as it were.
Hmm.
If you were wanting to play kind of the Merlin kind of character, you know what I mean? Like the guide of, I am all powerful and you must listen because I'm going to take you on a quest, then I'd probably look at the
Hmm.
more upright kind of individual. So I mean, you could do something like kind of like like the crash, like meh, kind of.
Yeah, it's very yeah at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or again, we could look at like kind of and I love the state. The one of the things I always love is I love the stages because the stage like automatically just hits that hero pose.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, and then you can always look at the you can always look at the oh no, don't want that, don't want that. Ugh. And you can always look at the like come on you. Like the "you shall not pass," kind of epic,
Mm.
kind of guiding wise man type thing. Yeah, Master Roshi versus Kami. That's a brilliant comparison right there.
No, it's quite good. I think let's split the diff. Let's have someone whose conviction is built upon the desire to understand. I mean, also the desire to not understand. God, I'm confusing myself. So he's like
So kind of like Bruno from Encanto, like, you know, the like I see everything, but I don't necessarily want to use my powers to do that.
not necessarily. It's like
No.
I see the potential in many ideas, and yet the presence of all these ideas are is like oh man, how do I even put this? Um, sorry, I'm stumbling a little bit.
No, it's fine. Let's while we're thinking about that and twisting around and breaking necks apparently with the model making. Let's go to another question here. So another question that I saw earlier, which let me pull this up here. Nope, that was already answered. It was here somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Question,
Sorry.
here we go.
Can I just say quickly?
Pardon?
Can I just say something quickly?
Yeah.
McLaughlin just said, let fate choose its own path. And I think that's a really nice little piece. It's like being aware of the paths, but letting fate choose. So I want to know where the paths are, but then again, it's actually not for me to decide which one we go down right now.
Oh, okay. I can kind of see that.
So thank you, McBluff. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do like that. Okay. Okay. So this could be just as a aside, this could be really interesting because I've never done a pose like this because I've always in my mind I've always added objects to like represent magic. But what might be really cool is rather than adding an object to represent magic is if we place a light source like in this dude's hand.
How annoying are axes, right?
You know, like, yeah, and then we have like, you know, there's just this ominous glow, and then have the, you know, like sort of head looking down at, you know, like it like it's interpreting.
Could we do it slightly different where it's listening instead of looking?
Ooh, yeah, totally. So that would.
Yeah, yeah.
Then maybe even raise that up and bring it around a little. And then tilt it just so that it's.
I think coming back from that narrative, the rainbow is that like color and presence is so deceiving. So sometimes you need to rely on a different sense.
That's rad. I love that. I think that's a wonderful sentiment. Like, especially in a place like the Valley of Dreams, where your vision can be quite deceptive, having that secondary sense, you know, and it could be really funny too, because it could be something very silly. It could be like he's listening to color. What? What do you mean he's listening to color?
Yeah, what's that that thing where you can
yeah that
it's like the reverse of synesthesia.
That's kind of cool. I kind of like that. That's pretty rad. All right, so let's answer this question from Kelly.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, have you ever introduced particular current age real world things like ghost hunting or reality shows in a fantasy realm?
Like an anachronism kind of way.
I'd say so. Yeah, like an anachronism of like something modern that you have. Like, for example, if you had like a VTuber who used like a crystal ball to like be like, okay, King, listen up. We're here with your boy. I don't know.
There's actually an item in, and I'm not sure. You know what? I think I can talk about it. But it's for this Strixhaven campaign that I'm a part of, which will be releasing on a channel, and I'll promote that later. But I was sitting down with Lanta, and everyone I know knows who Lanta is. You know who Lanta is.
It's the Lanta.
The Lanta Panta. We came up with I guess, the Wizarding World version of Facebook, where it's just a book, except everyone in the school of Strixhaven has their own page, and you can like sort of write on it, and it works like a communal thing.
That's really cool. I love that idea.
So I think that's a really fun way
Is it
to
called
do like
Mage Book?
I can't remember what we called it, but that's not bad. I'll make sure I make a note. So in short, yes.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure I have, but look, I run so many games. It's hard for me to pin one of them down. I definitely know that a lot of my food uses a lot of gastronomical techniques that are more indicative of what we do today. Especially when it comes to food and drink. Like I made like a whipped cream foam latte, like healing potion. So like oh no, actually, you know what? No, hold on, wait. Can I? Do you mind? We're gonna save this real quick because I have to show you this because I think you'll appreciate this. So I'm playing in my own homebrew world. I'm running a game, for some friends, and I made an NPC. And he's such a frustrating NPC, but I think it's just hilarious getting to see him. His name is Chad with an X.
What?
Yeah. So Chad with an X is
so frustrating.
Is a hipster barista.
I hate it.
He's got the man bun, and he always does like these overcomplicated like healing potions and stuff like that. So Chad with an X is the one who made like the little sugary shot. Yeah, and he's just this, like deconstructed health potion. Just chew on some leaves, and then he pours hot water down your throat.
It's like I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine last night, and they go to the coffee, like this milk shop or whatever, and it's like, yeah, so the sourness of the coffee really brings out the something of the milk, and it's like those are literally the worst parts. It's very much Chad with an X.
Yeah, yep. No, Chad with an X is definitely one of those one of those characters that I looked at and I was just like, oh, I hate him so much. Okay, so we got I love the idea of the listening. I think that's kind of cool. I mean, what do you think of the rest of the pose? What do you think we should do here? I mean, first of all, do we like the base? Do we like the staff?
I like the base. I want to change the staff. I think
okay.
He would need one piece which he actually like isn't so much a natural thing. As sort of a lost and found, I think it's really easy to go to like, hey, he just picks up a stick and that's his piece. But yeah, like what's to say that he doesn't have a Tommy gun?
Yeah, exactly. Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah. I think, what if he was given an unconventional weapon that he holds unconventionally to like it has a different presence for him? Say like if you gave him a Baradish, or like I can see that you're on the mace right now. Like, oh, that's a flail, yeah, isn't it? Oops. Is there a mace or a club with like a what have we got down there? Maces, clubs. Yeah, give me the traditional Japanese club. Go up one.
Oh, the Tetsubo?
Yeah. Invert it. Or can you invert it?
Mm-hmm.
And that's his staff.
Oh, that's kind of cool. It's got super Oni vibes.
Oni.
Oni.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ernie vibes.
Well, that was it. It was a weapon of demons, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Can we dress the top? Like I know that you know some interesting stuff with HeroForge. So if we can put like some feathers or something, well, maybe not feathers because it's a bird, that's disgusting. But some sort of dressing on the top, I'd really love.
Okay.
Sorry to challenge you.
All right. I think I'll need to draw. I think we need to add a little bit more to it, like clothes wise, before I can figure out how to apply that. But
Sure.
I think it's doable. I think there might be something we'll be able to add in regards to feathers and the like. Hold Also, let me just look at that, and then let me, because that's going to be much easier to handle. Okay, good. Yep. All right. Excellent. All right. So, what else are we looking at for this individual?
I guess I think we need to add an element of function. So this is probably when the clothing comes into play.
Okay.
You said you had a bunch of interesting ideas or like interesting pieces that we could apply.
Okay. Yeah. So one of the interesting ones here is it's a tattered overcoat, which that one's not going to work with the collar, but without the collar, right? Because I mean the
I like that.
Craglands are very inhospitable. So having this kind of ragged kind of over, like, because basically now that you can do layering on your clothes and stuff like that, that kind of ragged over thing is just kind of very indicative of like the harsh winds, the kind of scorching sands and suns and stuff like that. And I think that kind of looks really, really nice. Yeah, I think that was the one that I was really thinking of.
Yeah, like I'm done for that.
Yeah, I also like the wrapped scarf.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, I like the wrapped scarf as well. It is kind of like really cool looking. But for the rest of it, I wasn't so sure. I mean, like could be really anything. We could go for like a full robe. We can go for like, like a skirt. We can go for like, a whole bunch of things.
I think the part I like about the draping and the use of multiple layers is that it creates the narrative of I've collected fabrics and they form a function for me rather than I wear them as how they're intended. So I mean, if we keep that drape or like excessive layering and later sort of semi-randomized coloring.
Okay.
So maybe let's take the structure out of the piece because that's more of a wraparound, isn't it? Like I love that.
Okay.
And then let's go to the bottom for now.
Okay. Legs.
And give me something drapey.
Something drapey. Okay, let's see. So, there's the Japanese samurai, whatever you call those pauldron-y type things with lots of like the tassels and things.
Looks fantastic, but wrong vibe, I think.
There's just kind of a very simple hip drape from the cloth that comes around. I don't like the barred pants so much because I think they're too clean, but
yeah,
they are drapey in that way.
I think trust your instinct. They are too clean.
Yeah, lots of skirts. This one's
Have we got
all right. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, that if that was like more
Dirty?
tattered and without the belt.
We can add a little bit of dirt to stuff like that. So if we go into the decals and actually look at the blood stains, if we add, what we can add is we can add a blood stain and increase the scaling of it, rotate it down, and then what we can do is we can just turn that into just like this dirt color. Do you know what I mean? And then what that
I
does,
get it.
It just kind of looks a bit muddy and a bit, crummy.
I like it. I think what do we have any other options which are similar to?
Let's have a look. Let's see. We'll keep the dirt there for now, but yeah.
For sure.
There's the cocktail dresses, ancient robes. So this is kind of a little bit more.
Yeah, that's basically the same thing, but more along the vibe.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm starting to pick up the vibe here a little bit more. I'd say that focusing on that vibe. This is okay. This is kind of like back in the monk kind of area, but I think the leg stance isn't really very flattering for that one.
I like this one because that's also good.
Traveler's furs. Yeah, this is kind of a nice one as well.
Yeah, actually, that one's probably better because that entire theology or theology, I don't know if that's the right word, but the idea that we're using fabric as we need it, opposed to having fabric forms assigned.
And then I guess the last one that could potentially work, is this one here. But the only thing that really gets me is that chain that's there.
Yeah, it's a little bit too constructed. I think I like that last one.
Yep. All right. All right. Cool. So we got that pants there. We got the tattered robe. I mean, we don't even need an undershirt really. Like that looks. That
Because you
kind of.
can kind of imagine that what he's wearing with those side panels would fold up and underneath.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. All right. Making a Kenku. I've been working on the language thing. What do y'all's feel on the update of making them speak regularly? Good question. What do you feel about Kenku? Because for those of you who don't know, Kenku traditionally have the ability to. Well, I should say have the ability. They have the kind of almost like curse where they can only say words that they've heard before. So when they're trying to speak, they're kind of very quick to pick up languages, but you know they only have a very limited vocabulary. There is currently a update that is going out that allows them to speak without this as a penalty. Mostly because 90% of people who play Kenku don't bother with trying to twist their words around. They just kind of make them sound like I would like dinner instead of ham and cheese, ham and cheese. It's like, so do you want dinner? Ham and cheese.
Which is, yep, that's Kangaroo for dinner.
Yeah, Kenku for dinner. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people don't bother with that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts, Tom? Do you like the idea of your traditional Kenku language barriers, or do you think or do you like the ability for them to join in?
I like it together. I like the idea that the Kenku haven't always have they always been a playable race? I don't think so.
I want to say that third edition was the first
Mm.
Kenkus.
And I think like I know that the timeline of D&D is fairly abstract, but they're kind of being more incorporated in this edition. So giving the option doesn't mean that you have to. But I definitely think there would be some Kenku who can now use the sounds they've heard to mimic sentences opposed to mimic just the sounds. I quite like it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that idea. For me, I've always kind of hated the the copying thing.
Yeah.
Mostly because I find it very hard to do that without looking or sounding like a parrot.
Yeah, for
Do you know
sure.
what I mean? And I think that for me is like one of the big kickers is I definitely want I would definitely want to like if macaw could do it right, like if there was a race of like parrot people, great, fantastic. Mimicking things makes perfect sense. I don't know, corvids just never really struck me as that, so I like it. I like the change that's coming. Mimic stuff always sounds creepy. If you've ever played League of Legends, Fiddlesticks and the way that he mimics the last words that people say when they're about to die, and that's all he can ever say. That I've always loved as a character.
It's
as
a
a
cool bit of
concept.
narrative, isn't it?
Yeah, and I kind of almost want to play like a villainous evil character who does that as well. Like like he can't speak simple basic language, but he has to say, "Please don't stop." It's like, the fuck do you want?
Always makes me think of Bumblebee.
Yeah, Bumblebee, yeah, and like how he has to like change the radio station and stuff like that to speak. Yeah, that'd be really cool. That'd be really cool. Okay, I changed the eyes a little bit just so that it looks like
No, good. Thank
he's
you.
listening to the thing. All right. So I guess where would you go next from this point?
I think so. We've got like he is very starting to look very monk. I think we need to double down on the on like the trinkety collecting pieces.
On the what? Sorry. Oh, the
Like,
trinkety collecting things.
yeah, so we need to make the club look more random by either
Okay.
adding more random pieces or making the club like changing the club slightly to look decorated.
Okay. So
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So I think for that, okay, I'm gonna have to try something. And don't freak out when I do this because I've never done this before.
Mm.
Okay. Okay, I can't do it on this one. All right.
What is it?
So, okay, we might need to restart the pose, but that's okay. So I'm gonna save this here.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna start working on a secondary one. Okay. Because what we basically do here is... Sorry, I had to freak out, apparently.
Oh yeah, that's important.
It's
I saw freak out pending.
freak out. Yeah. Okay, so if I go into... okay, so if we change the base, pose, let's go with... let's see, if I was listening, he would be... I think it would be this one. And then reverse. Bow. Twist. Then twist that out a bit. And then again, twist this in, out, back, elbow. Again, I know I say it a bunch of times on my channel, but I'll keep saying it. If you want to do stuff, always make sure you keep an eye on where your elbows are. That is the paramount skill for any character. Okay, now what we can do here is if we move that to here, what I can now do, I'm going to save that here, is I can now go to the base and add an extra dude. But then what we do with this extra dude is we... Oops. No, we didn't want to do that. Is we change all of their numbers like really low. So make them as skinny as possible. No need for a face. In fact, no need for a head. Go with me on this. Like I said, we're gonna be freaking out here. All right. Oh, no, I still want a torso, please. I don't want an outfit. I don't want gear. And I want the legs to be normal, please. And no tail. Okay. So then what we do is by moving our main character to the center. And then moving our extra character inside.
Ah!
All right. That's okay. Because pose-wise, what we do then is we tilt you backwards to the side. I think the main Tengu might be a bit too skinny. So let's just increase that here. Bulk up his weight ever so slightly. Then let's go to this guy. Sorry, this takes a little bit of...
That's right, it's finessing.
A little bit of finagling. All right, let's tear off one of his arms. Okay, so what we can do here now is... Okay.
It's all right, we can definitely add a cloak or a cape or something on the back.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then what we do here is we bend the elbow. Because we need to move the elbow in. There it is.
Mm.
All right. Then we twist the arm. Have that go that way, kind of thing.
Mm.
And now we can add stuff to the hand. So let's add. So we want some random stuff, did we?
Yeah, I think give him like, have we got like some scraps or something weird? What would be strange enough for you to tape to the top of a star club to make it look more like a staff?
Skull.
I mean, if we weren't 13.
Brains. No.
Sorry, I meant upwards, not 10.
Oh, sorry. Let's see. Be a tricky one. I know what I'm doing. Blorg. What if we went nice and simple?
Combined.
And we actually added a staff. So what we do here
Oh, yeah, okay, I see where you're heading.
Yeah, so what we do here is we... All right, and then... Come on, just a little bit more.
Good thinking. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, 100%.
All right. Kill. Oh, there we go. Done. Hey, what's up? Did I miss what was the point of putting the body inside the body? The point was to get the hand that's over here to merge the staff and the staff and the club.
So now we've got like a very exotic looking weapon, I guess.
Yes. Though again, I think maybe some slight tweaking might. Oh, I know what I need to do. Measure arm length. There. And then, yeah. Sometimes that's exactly what you need. Is you need that little bit of arm length, just to kind of hit that right mark, or completely fuck everything up.
Yeah. So I think it really works with the concept, which is, and so just to describe it again for chat, it's like I wanted him to have collected items, but not necessarily use them for the form in which they're intended. So as far as he's concerned, this is just like a really nice piece that now has been appropriated into his own, I guess, totem.
All right. So yeah, if we keep the colors the same there, that's fine. But then what we need, I think, here is on the main piece, is we need a side item, kind of like a couple potion bottles or something.
Yeah.
Or a bat, or something just to kind of obscure that.
The double hand.
The double hand, yeah.
Yeah, that means if we just chuck on like little baggie or something.
Yep. Okay, so that is down, forward.
Like I'm not. You've watched Gurren Lagann, haven't you?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Kamina, like for those in chat, Kamina is like a character who has grown up underground and he's seen the surface of the world once, and then as soon as he gets to the surface, someone hands him a gun and he has literally no idea how to use it. So he ends up like flipping it upside down and shooting it with his pinky. But it's like it's that kind of approach of I kind of get how it works, but as far as I'm concerned, this is the best way to use it.
Yep. No, exactly. I can definitely see that. And I definitely get the idea that it's like, yeah, this was supposed to be like a giant like Oni's weapon, but this guy's now used it just kind of like as a walking stick.
Yeah, it's so heavy. Why would I hit with this end when this end's like so much lighter and I can lean on it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. All right. Whew. So there we go. We managed to add some extra. Yeah, that didn't take too much time. All right. All right. Hey, what's up, Aces and the Bees? What's up? Welcome in, welcome in. And big shout out and a big special welcome back to Crab of Chaos. Good to see you. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute since we've seen you last. Now, we are going to continue, but I'm going to invite my audience once again. Hey, if you guys would like, this is Thomas. Thomas is also known as the Forgeling. Thomas is the wonderful and talented bard from One for All, as well as a immensely talented prop maker and costume designer, and as well as Smith. Let's throw that in there. 'Cause, you know, that's something you do. As well as a avid fan of all things role playing. So if you have any questions for Thomas, or for the both of us regarding RPGs or some of Thomas's stuff, feel free to throw it in chat. So I guess I have a question for you now.
Go for it.
Role playing has what I think to be a number of really, really beneficial elements to mental health and growth and well-being and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you share this sentiment? And if so, have you ever seen this in play? Like, have you ever seen this like actually happen in front of you at a table, like where someone's been better off because of their interactions with TTRPGs?
Yes, I think on a personal note, I think that role playing is a fantastic way to confront your own weaknesses in sort of more of a safe situation because you have the ability to snap detach. But I think probably on the most part, I used to work in a game store, and watching a lot of people step up, come out of their shell, use role playing games as a way to learn how to better communicate is a beautiful thing. Like sometimes you don't always have the confidence in yourself to be able to talk at lengths, but when you've built or like put the amount of effort into a character that you really want to show off all its facets and you want to be really proud, you take the moment to then talk about that. And what you don't realize is that you've actually spent probably about 18 to 50 years working on yourself, and you have the ability to do this for yourself later. You just need to link those two together.
No, absolutely, and I think people underestimate exactly how much even little things like play go a long way to helping restore not only your like fatigue from like what could be like a very intense week of like absolute garbage encounters, and help revitalize you for things that are better in the future. Like there are definitely weeks where I feel completely drained and then get into RPGs, and then the next day I'm just like, oh man, I'm so glad that I got to play and got to have a like have my big exhale, and now I'm ready for the next thing that may not necessarily be fantastic, but I'm ready for it. I'm better for it.
It works very well as a tether, doesn't it?
100%.
Like you realize that everyone else is just playing the same game.
All right, so I've added in a little coat so we don't have to see the twisted, gnarled body, which I can still kind of see there, but I think there's still room for adjusting, which that looks okay. Which means that I just need to lift that one up a bit more.
Really made it difficult for you, didn't it?
Yeah, it's fine. Like these are the, these are the ones that can take a couple hours potentially. But you know what? Like here's the thing. I think okay, so everyone knows how I feel about HeroForge, right? Let's not beat around the bush. This show that we're doing right now is obviously is sponsored by HeroForge, and I will say that. And I do believe in the product. I believe in what you get. But here's the catch. A lot of people that have had trepidations about it have asked me, like, why do you like HeroForge so much? I always find that, it's hard to get the character that I want in HeroForge and stuff like that. I say to them this, and I'll say to you this as well. If you want a miniature, right? Go buy a miniature, right? Like go to like
Hmm.
Reaper Mini, go to like, go anywhere and just pick one up, right? Because ultimately, if you are after a miniature, that is where you can find one. If you want to make something that is customized, that is literally exactly to your specifications, what you want from a figurine, that is where you want to be with HeroForge. That is where HeroForge shines the most, in my opinion. It's not about, like, oh yeah, it's a dwarf, right? If you want a dwarf, go buy a dwarf, right? But a freaking like shaman Tengu listening to a stone, that really kind of captures the essence of the character you're playing. The only place you're gonna get that is somewhere like HeroForge, um, or similar kind of like custom made 3D modeling stuff. Which again, that's what you should be going get. That's what you should be looking at. That's what you should be kind of deciding. So stuff like this, for example,
Hmm.
where I get to play around and overlap stuff, that for me is like, yeah, no, this is really cool. This is gonna be great. By the time this is done, it's gonna be exactly the character that we're thinking of, exactly the character that we're feeling, and like there is gonna be no model of this anywhere else in the world.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
No, it's nice. I think HeroForge has done a fantastic job to allow people to express themselves in a model.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay.
And by no means is it perfect, but then again, we're not all 3D sculptors. Like the fact that there is a, an avenue for us to express this with these tools is already a gift. Pick
Mm.
and choose what you want, but it's fantastic.
Exactly. Exactly. And the thing is sometimes not all characters should be miniatures. Sometimes characters should just be, um, like just artwork.
This is true. To share a bit of an anecdote from the recent shoot that I did, there was one element in which I was in charge of designing, and the problem for one for all, and the problem with it was the director had a concept in their head, but the concept was the intention of the concept was to have them unimaginable. So how do you design and put a 3D like representation on a creature that can't exist?
How do you?
That's it. In the end, you can't, but you can leave breadcrumbs. So by combining certain elements and actually making the world around it less structured. So if you were to make, say, an effigy, one effigy is going to differ very much to another effigy, not just in its. I mean, sorry, I think I'm going to get very confused in the way I talk about this. But consider the concept of biblical angels or
The
seraphim.
unfathomable, multi-winged thing, the
Yeah,
entity. Yeah.
yeah, very much just like a thing, right? It's that it's unimaginable because so many people give so many different accounts of the same presence.
Absolutely.
So how do you put that into a 5-minute show, I guess?
Um, you know what? You got me lost there, man. I mean, I couldn't even. I think for me, like, yeah, there's definitely some concepts that just lack the ability to manifest in that. But I don't know if I've ever really built a character like that. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's
as a
tough, hey?
GM, I have like, when I describe certain eldritch horrors and stuff like that, it's
Mm.
kind of easy to kind of get into that point of it's like, yeah, you feel something slosh. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, you push on this thing and it kind of moves fluid from one bulbous sac to another. It's like, what am I looking at? Like,
And isn't
yeah.
it brilliant when it can start appealing to different senses? And I think that's one of the beautiful parts about Dungeons and Dragons or any kind of role play is
Mm.
that you can use other opportunities to describe, like you and your food stories, like
Aw.
to emulate a taste or like a texture. It's so important to have all of these pieces add up. And when those start sort of shifting slightly or making it uncomfortable, why does this, like a disruptive thought or like a chaos theory in between, it has a new form of presence.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, interesting question. Interesting question there. And I definitely like that. Let's see if there's any other. Shoot. Ace and the Bees. I'm working on Curse of Strahd stuff, and I'm nervous because I wrote music for the dinner scene when the party arrived, and they lost 2 players and gained 1. I'm just stressy and a little bit messy. That's okay, Ace. Look. Sometimes, remember this, and this is just my thoughts on it. The story is an entity, living, breathing, kind of does its own thing. We as GMs are vehicles to take the party to go and meet the creature that is called a campaign. Sometimes the creature is really nice and friendly and provides you with a joyous occasion of Care Bears and fun. Other times you're playing Curse of Strahd and, well, sometimes the beast eats people. The only thing you got to remember is that, just like be there for your players. Make sure that they kind of feel good and feel better. And always remember that sometimes stories end a little earlier, but there's always the next heroes to come in and take up the mantle, as it were. Any thoughts on player death or character death? Shouldn't say player death, character death.
Player death's always a bit sad, isn't it?
That's a bit sad.
Thoughts? As in, do I agree with it? Do I disagree? Or
how would you? Let's go with this. How would you handle a scenario where multiple characters died in the middle of an important plot point?
I think this is where I start having different views on death than some people. And I think that it's important to happen. I think deaths of characters are a integral part of the story. I think it's too easy to gloss over the idea that you're sort of immune because you're a player at the table and you're only finished when you say you're finished, when in reality that power is stripped so far away from you. And I also don't see death as a bad thing, because sometimes insurmountable odds are a part of the narrative. So while it's frustrating to have a character that you love and you poured an amount of attention into during a game, because they are now dead in the narrative, it doesn't mean that everything they have done was for nothing. You've built a story and they have their part to play. And it's not like this story or this world is going to disappear because they do.
Well said. I could not agree more. I definitely am a progenitor of, like, if my characters die, they die. It's very sad, and again, we as you say, we get a very interesting insight into if our character does die. We get to actually be in that rare position where we still get to witness the impact of their life in the story. So it may be like later on down the track you come along and you get to see who the people that you've saved and the cities that the sacrifices has led to bringing out of oppression or whatever. It's something that death doesn't really normally get to take glimpses on, but in this case we can, which I think is just it's great. And I think it undermines the nature, or it undermines the feeling of like having your characters just be immune to death for the sake of like getting to the end of the game, because in my opinion, that's not the goal. The goal is not to reach the end. The goal is to enjoy every single glorious second leading up to it.
Yeah, there's a big boss fight in some D&D campaigns, but the best parts are the small parts and the interactions you have with the party. For me personally.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Okay, so I've just been playing around with a couple of little things here and there.
Like in the Rainbow Clouds idea.
Yeah, I added in some of the smoke because well, one, again, the rainbow cloud type thing. But two, because we have the human foot from the guy on the inside sticking out just there. So I thought the clouds add like a really nice like nod to the rainbow mists, and again, it also obscures the foot enough that you can't actually see the foot. You just see the claw on the other side.
No, it's good. It's good workaround.
All right. Yeah, like I said, part of this will be all workarounds and stuff like the coat and stuff like that. All right. What skin tone do you reckon he'd have? They'd have. Sorry. Pronouns.
Let's. Man, it's kind of hard, right? Yeah. Look, let's just go dark. Maybe not that dark. Let's give them more of a brownie hue.
Something like that.
Possibly too light.
Too light?
Sorry to be difficult.
No, don't be difficult. That's the nature of it. All right, let's okay, let's go with that one for now. All right. And then what if we add in, we go into the mixes. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about the shine on that. So let's hit the hair so that it's hopefully a little less shiny. Add a bit of fuzz to it. And a little roughness to it. There we go.
And so while you're kind of mixing, I guess, on the back of death in a game, bringing up a past story, I had a game where the DM forced an action to happen without consulting me. So it's just like, this person reaches out and they cut off your hand. Your character no longer has a hand. It's a very bold movement, and I understand the request and sort of the discussion which should happen between a DM and a player. But where do you draw the line of forced actions yourself? Like what's appropriate, what's inappropriate, what's like narrative building, and what's just a piece?
That's a very interesting question. I think for me, primarily, the idea behind a good moment is one that is built between the players and the GM. If the player doesn't consent to a particular style of actions, like let's talk about like cutting off a hand, right? Like this is a you know, cause and effect type thing. Presumably there's a cause and effect type thing, but there's been no discussion as to will you or are you allowed to cut off my hand? Now, I would cut off someone's hand easily, no doubt about that. But I would always have in my mind a method for them to get it back, to restore it. That would never for a moment not be an element in my campaign, because I don't want that player to feel as though I'm going to take agency away and force an encounter to happen in the way that it's happened in my head and then give them no means of resisting or doing anything about it. Do you know what I mean? So it may give the impression that that it's supposed to go this way, but it never will, if that makes sense.
So that's like an illusion of choice, would you say?
I would create the illusion of a lack of choice, if that makes sense. There will always be choice, and that's the thing, is there'll always be choice. But I may give the illusion that you've had no choice. Like, you go up to Strahd and you slap him in the face. Choice is you've chosen to go slap him in the face, but the illusion of choice is that you're about to die and there's nothing you can do about it. So that's the illusion that there's a lack of choice. When in actuality, no, actually there's a ton of stuff that you can do about it, but I'm going to make you feel as though Strahd's about to unleash hell upon you and there's nothing you can do to resist it. So if that kind of makes sense, that's kind of what I'm looking at is, you know, like, again, same thing. It's my hand's going to get cut off. I can't do anything about this. It's like, well, you could, but I'm going to give you the illusion that you can't. And then once your arm is off, it's not the end of the game. Now we look at getting your arm back, which is now you break into this castle. This guy's using your hand as kind of like an ashtray. You get your hand back, and that's really cool. You've done that, and then later on you may have a new ability called the Ashes of Strahd. And
Mage hand.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It creates like maybe a mage hand made of like cigar smoke from Strahd, and it's like this vampiric hand that sort of grabs things, and like. I always try to lean into stuff that allows my players to then get rewarded for any kind of penalty like that they suffer, but I'm not against it. Let's start with that. I'm not against it, but it is a razor's edge, and it can definitely be a very salty and very sour thing to try and use in your toolbox. So I don't use it often, and if I do use it, I make sure it's something that my player and I both we understand, we trust each other. And then I might do that because I know that they wouldn't stop everything in order to focus on the fact that there was an illusion of choice here. There wasn't one. I'm really pissed off, and I'm going to stop everything in order to address the fact that I'm pissed off right now. I mean, they might get pissed off in the moment, but they'll go, nah, Mike's probably got something. Let's keep moving. And then, then it goes into something. And it usually, and like I said, usually it then does. And
that comes from a trust between the GM and the players. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Lots of people saying that they love your voice, by the way, which is awesome.
Oh, yeah, I saw 1 or 2 comments. That's very kind.
Yeah, there was a smithing question I saw. How big is your workshop, and what kind of stuff do you make?
I have it's probably almost a double garage to work in, and I've sort of set that up, but that includes sewing, pattern making, smithing, woodworking, leatherworking. It's all sort of squashed in there. So in reality, you don't need that much space, but if you want to tap into like a lot of different types of hobbies, crafts, or arts, then it's going to fill up very quickly.
Oh yeah, I imagine so.
It's quite messy. Machines break all the time. Well, not all the time, but enough to make it irritating. It's nice to be able to jump between though.
That's cool. I like that. Sorry, catching up on chat here as best as I can. But gotta go. Okay, bye, Karen. I know you left ages ago, but I'm sorry. But bye, Karen. I want it to be known. Woodworking. It's not woodworking. It's forging with metal. Although I think you did say that you do some woodworking as well.
Yeah, I do some woodworking as well.
Yeah.
I think that's the one which I want to get into more. I want to start making puzzle boxes.
Well, Avarian, our dear friend, actually is a woodworker themselves.
Really?
A bunch of dice boxes and things like that, as well as tables for like gaming and things like that.
Ah, lovely.
Yeah. You two should like connect. So Avarian, I'm gonna give you a quick shout out here. Go check out the Forgeling's Twitch channel, because he does a lot of his forging and stuff like that over on his Twitch channel.
It's been a little while.
It's been a while, but you do. He does do some of the stuff, and go check it out, and connect, hook up, find out, talk shop, as it were.
I mean, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Maybe I should work on a puzzle box. I'd like to maybe next personal stream I'll design a puzzle box. See if you can make
the Forgeling.
Already
following. Look at that already. Straight up. All right. Let's head back to the Tengu's land. Now,
oh yeah, sorry.
Okay, so I've kind of gone with the darker colors. There's still.
I think you were bang on with the color actually. In retrospect, the head color switched that to the body.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So those little pieces are going to look a little rough, but once we add in, once we adjust a little bit more, so I'm still kind of trying to hide as much of that hand as possible.
It's all right. I think the other pieces speak louder than the presence of a hand. I think you're obsessing over a 5%.
Yes. I'm not arguing with you. You are right, and I do, and that's always me some people have watched me stream for like hours. Then maybe some like
They're good. I like those.
there's a really good ad. Just trying to see if there's a slightly, yeah, that's the one. I was like gonna see if there was a slightly bigger one.
Mm.
Okay, there we go. And then forward, down, and tilt that. Nope. There. Beautiful. Yep. That looks good. Down a bit more. There. Perfect.
Cool.
And that looks like a nice little bag with no second hand in there. Okay. So we got the cloak, we got that. All right. Where are we looking for color schemes?
I think let's insinuate ramshackle. So where has it been wandering? You said through the Craglands.
Yep. So the Craglands are, for the most part, very Australian based. So baked orange sand, kind of deal. That was always kind of the nature of what I imagine the Craglands to kind of look like. Just this dry and desolate, like, yeah. Well, red and black sand, red and orange sand. Because you're Australian, which is actually quite rare. Sometimes I don't have very many Aussies on the channel.
Yeah, I like that sandy color. That's good. I mean, okay. So what dyes and natural colorings would be present in this area?
Interesting question. I think there would actually be quite a lot of vibrant colors here and there, like reds, yellows, pinks, and stuff like that. Like the desert flowers that you often see, like the cactus and stuff. There are a lot of insects here as well, like insects that like kind of run around and sort of do stuff like giant beetles and kind of stuff like that. So there's also some opalescent materials here and there.
Okay.
They could be ground into like kind of darker shade colors.
All right. I think it's all too tempting to go dark earthy tones. But I'm a big fan of the blues, and I think with the COVID concept, chucking some muted blues or some sort of like a dusty gray blue in there would be really nice.
Okay, so some muted blues, some dusty gray blues. So we've got like so when you say dusty, I'm kind of like imagining something like that.
Yeah, that's good. Chuck those on the undertones. That'd be nice. So on the shoulders.
Yep. So like here.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, I need to get rid of the decal on the pants for the time being, because otherwise I can't color it. There we go.
That's fair.
All right. Let's see.
We should chuck some sort of leather in there as well. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean, I think we should kind of avoid it for the head, because that's the same color as the kind of like beak and stuff like that. So some leather colors, you say? Any particular types of leathery colors? Like
I think the colors which I use out in the shed are russet. If you have russet.
The hell is russet?
Russet brown. It's like it's a version of
You're gonna make me Google russet brown.
Sorry.
It's fine. You're the special guest. We should try and accommodate, because this is why we do it.
My horrible demands.
Russet brown. I see a potato. Okay, I see. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make that color. Okay, so I'm gonna start with that red. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my mixes, go to the red. Okay. That needs to be...
I would add a little bit more orange into it. Like slide the bottom slider along a little further. Oh, there you go. That's basic. That's very close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motherfucking russet brown. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And we could probably chuck, pardon me, we'll probably chuck that on the pouch as well.
All right, there we go. All right, there. Done. And I'm going to add a couple of this.
Sorry, pardon me.
No, you're fine, you're fine. I'm going to call this russet brown. Done. There. We have now added to my library russet brown forever.
It's going to be me just going, no, I kind of like more of an ox blood.
I'll give you ox blood. All right. So, and then that on the bag as well.
Yeah, I think on the, put it on the edge and then we'll go deeper in the center.
Okay. And then deeper on the center. So, kind of a...
have you got slightly readier? Go to the right one. Ooh, actually, that looks quite fun.
Yeah, like that one?
It's not what I had in mind, but I think it looks good.
Okay. Because, I mean, we've also just got red.
No. What do you have before with the two tones?
Okay, there we go. Done.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll need russet brown for that one. All right, cool. Okay, what about the overcoat?
Let's spike some color into that.
Okay, what are you feeling?
Could we? Oh man, I got no idea.
Let's play around.
Have we got like a sun bleached kind of?
All that I want.
Yeah, I'm liking that because it pops. Do you have a decal to like sort of mess that up on the back as well?
No.
No, okay,
but we
no
could
worries.
just mess it up.
Oh, don't forget his tail feathers.
Oh yeah. There we go. Get some tail feather action going. There it is.
Nice. Yeah, I like the bright.
All right. Cool.
Could we put like a slightly whiter version of that, almost like a linen or a calico under the on the underskirt? Yep.
Okay. Well, I was gonna do a little bit more orange on that one, but if you're happy with that.
No, I like it just because it's more of a basic and it feels traditional.
All right.
And I think just on that lining of the square pieces of the panel, I think this is where we imply something else. This is where the magic, I guess, needs to be insinuated. So like we've got some prominent green. Can we splash a bit of green in? Oh, close. I mean, that's probably a bit too bright. So I'm trying to be decisive.
What about the mint?
The mint I don't mind. I like it because it bounces in the light and it's also a little bit in the flame. So as a general piece, it works. If we could add that to the staff somewhere. Yes, good spot.
Okay, I like it.
That way you're just sort of tying it all together.
That's looking really nice. Okay, and I think what we can also do here is we can also start looking at the bottles as well as those little highlights.
Oh, the glass paints, you say?
Yeah. So we can play around with things like
So I realized I was doing this in camera because I've also got your chat open. I look like an absolute loser.
Yeah, see.
Do you mind if we just, like, while we're coloring, we'll go to a question from McBluff?
Yeah, let's do it.
Thinking on the puzzle block, what are y'all's favorite way of having interactive elements in a game? I'm a very visual and auditory person, so I do a lot of art and animatics for scenes in games and stories. I don't yet have visuals for. That's how I interact on my level. But do you like including elements during a session? I love props, but obviously using them becomes, well, tricky online.
It does. I mean, I love bells and whistles, to be honest. Like
Mm,
it's tough. I think we I think I think one of the reasons why my shows tend to be very, what's the word? Um high production value, shall we say?
okay.
Is because bells and whistles are all I love. Like the reason why actually, we could probably go through go and see one of my things at the moment. Let me show you this real quick. So I made this.
Mm. Oh, this is cool.
Right. So this is like a bells and whistles things. Like I made a HeroForge mini for a show that I did called Infernodrome, which was like a PvP wrestling show, and
Mm.
I made this like little thing here. And then I made this layout, which you can kind of see here, has the map in the middle, and there's Thomas down there. Like these for me are bells and whistles, right? And this
Mm.
is kind of how that's communicated. Let's go back real quick. So that's how this is communicated back, in the online space. But I think in the meat space, in the real world, I would love to be the kind of individual to like have like an actual like to actually build a dungeon, to build tokens, to build a city, to like sort of have the ambience in the house, to have like kind of it'll be through the experience, you know what I mean, of like
Mm.
being at the table with someone. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I don't mind costumes, but costumes get expensive. I don't mind props, but I suck at making props. I'm not a crafty person, right? Like I'm definitely not a crafty person. I am,
Mm.
definitely more of a performy person. Not to say that you have to be one or the other, but present company obviously fucking look at you being all I'm gonna be talented and be good at crafting and like an excellent actor and stuff, and look at how handsome I am. Fuck you. Anyway, so
Acting,
anyway,
I'm still
I
an amateur.
digress. Point is, I've just never been a very craft orientated person.
Mm.
So for me, it's always come about like in the things that I can set up, right? So like setting up my really cool streams and setting up my table, like it's stuff I can do in the background. And then when my players come in, they go, "Wow, this is amazing! I'm so happy to be
Yeah.
here." That's it. Setting the stage. That's what I mean.
I think
Set,
that's probably the most important part is atmosphere.
yeah, setting stage and atmosphere. That for me is how I express that.
No, that's cool.
Oh man, you know what? I do send. I'm not gonna lie. McBluff just said, are you truly playing D&D if you're not sending official invitation letters to your players in a game masquerade?" I do actually send people letters. If it wasn't like I've got one private game that I'm running at the moment, and I basically got these black bits of card and actually wrote in silver pen and then actually wax sealed with my Dead Aussie Gamer wax seal. Check it out.
Loves bells and whistles. There it is.
Yeah, yeah. Look. It's really cool. My best mate gave this to me, and it was awesome. It's a little wax seal.
Your best mate.
Yeah, my best mate.
Lovely.
Yeah.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, it's really cool. And he gave me the Dead Aussie Gamer seal. So I merch. Everyone's saying merch. Look,
And for a small donation of $50, he'll send you out a private letter.
yeah, I'll send you a private letter inviting you to a game that I'm not running. Terrible. Oh man, you know what? Maybe I would do that at some point or other. Maybe it's
I'd love to
like,
send out private handwritten letters.
yeah,
I really
that'd be
wanna just,
cool. I would do. Maybe you know what? That's actually a great idea. Maybe that is something I should really give some serious thought to. Maybe instead of like, because I mean, look, I like merch. I get merch, right? But I'm so nervous about it because I'm not a really good. Again, I'm not a crafty person. I'm not an artsy person. I mean, obviously we're making something here artsy, but you get what I mean. Like I'm not like, I don't hand draw stuff. I commission things. That's what I do.
you know what
But
I'd love?
what do you love?
Sorry. No. You
Oh, I was
you
gonna
do
say,
your butt first.
but I love the idea of like writing handwritten letters. Like if you tell me like, hey, I need an NPC to write a letter to the group, inviting them to a banquet. I would love to design a letter, you know what I mean? Like not just write onto a bit of paper, but like actually like get the lettering and actually handwrite this all and then like put a wax seal on it. I'd love to like make props of characters and actually be the one to like kind of write the words and stuff like that. That'd be kind of cool. I think that'd be awesome. That'd be a lot of fun.
I do a little bit of calligraphy on the side and a little bit of story writing. But what if you combine all this thing and you set up when you're wandering through Skyrim, I think you kind of get where I'm going with this now. But when you're going through Skyrim and you're reading a book, and a lot of them are down to like diary entries, what if you made a narrative that only existed in about 20 letters that got sent out to anyone who orders them, and like the story is only complete once they're all combined?
Oh, that's really cool. And also slightly devious. Because obviously you'd have to get the whole set then. You can't just get one.
But it's not about like having the set. It's about linking in with the people who have the other pieces.
Oh, I see what you mean. So basically, yeah, you've got to go and collect them by interacting with like the other people who have those notes.
Yeah, I think
really cool.
From a story writing perspective, it'd be really interesting to form a sense of intrigue across 20 letters, but also have the desire to find like the beginning and the end of each part.
Yeah, I'm feeling you. I dig it. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think that would, I think that would outrightly just be really cool.
That's definitely a project that I would get behind and love to either participate in or do.
Yeah, no, that'd be just a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah, it's like theater, but on a global scale. But I'd love to receive just like a letter in the box, and it's just this entry of like part 7, or it's got a date in it. You don't actually say which number it is, but you've got to line up the dates.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. That'd be really, really cool. All right, don't mind me.
No, you're right.
I'm not fiddling. I'm totally fiddling. All right. Okay, so as you've probably noticed, I've added in a couple things here and there. So what have I added? I have added in. There we go. That's a little closer. Okay. I'm just trying to line these up really, really nicely, just so that it actually, when it prints, is going to print out solid, because otherwise it might just be a little bit too wonky, but I think that'll work now. Yeah, that'll work. So that'll be nice and reinforced. Okay, so I've added in a couple things here and there. I've kind of played around with some of the colors on the staff.
Could we change the light to a blue?
The which one?
Or a teal? Could we change the light source to a teal?
Yeah, totally. Color lights. Teal. So something over here. Let's add the intensity just so that we can see what color we're at. So teal. Let's see. How exactly do we get teal? See, I'm one of those people who was like, yeah, I know the color in my head. I just need to get the exact.
Well, play it as you feel, man.
All right, so green.
It's like, yeah, it was only a minor tweak, but
yeah, there we go. Done. So how's that for a teal? And then, like I said, we'll
yeah, bringing it up helps as well.
Yeah, because now that we have a good position for the hand.
Yeah, I like that it's not actually designated on anything, but it acts more as a concept or an idea. Like the light doesn't have like a stone form; it's just a presence.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the thing is, I get so held up on like the fact that HeroForge has like spells and stuff like that. So I've got to like here actually, I've got a really good example right here. So I've got this character here who's like an elf that has the electric stuff in her hands, right? And I'm like, oh, that's cool, And then I've got this other guy here who's got like the magic between his between his hands, right? And I'm like, no, these are really great. But I forget that because you've got the lighting that you can play now, that you don't actually need anything. Like it could be just a conceptual idea of magic in its hand. You don't need a physical bit of plastic there But
Yeah.
now that they have the lighting stuff like there, you can like add the intensity, you can play around, and yeah, it feels like there's a light source there, which is cool, and I do like that too because I think that's gonna really make that pop. We just gotta be very careful with the intensity because otherwise we're gonna lose that eye.
Okay.
That's the only catch. Dragon Eats World. I can play with HeroForge for hours designing NPCs. Yeah, I do too. We are not going to look at my HeroForge library. It's a bit much.
Vast.
It's a bit much. Okay. So what else did we add? So there was the bottles. I kind of went with the green and purple because you mentioned adding a bit more green. So I thought that green might be nice.
No, it's strong in there. I like that.
Really?
It forms a nice line across the design. So you've got the colors in the ground, the waist, and then on the tip of the staff.
Yeah. Do you like? Oh, well, I mean, do you like them? We can.
No, I like them. I do.
Okay. And I haven't done the buttons. I don't think I can while I've got the decal there. So
yeah, that's
cover the decal. We'll put it back.
Yeah.
All right. And what color about the buttons?
Let's give him a wooden toggle.
What's that?
Wooden toggles?
Wooden toggles? Yeah, we can go with wood.
I'm not sure how strong the wood's going to stand out, but well, not very. It's a little bit lost, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we're gonna also use the.
Get that. Yeah, use the same one as the top of the staff. And then could we try a different beak color? Yes.
All right. So I've added in black and purple because these are the traditional colors of. I won't. Thank you, Mac, for reminding me. What was I saying? Yes. So the reason I use the blue and the purple is because that's how back in the day comic books used to depict black, all black characters like Venom and stuff like that. So it doesn't have to be this coloration.
No, it's good.
But what would you like as far as?
I mean, I do like how the tips are different color.
Okay.
But
yeah, we can do anything with the tip. You know what I mean? Like just the tip.
Well, I like the gold which you put on the fingertips as well. So if we could wrap that back in there, and I think it's a nice throwaway. Yeah, it's got something's there. Yeah, that's better.
That one?
Yeah. Like I like the shiny brassy thing, but I think it's a little bit too strange.
Sure. And keeping in mind, we could always add in a little bit of like. So we could always add. So forget the shine, but like we can add like a little bit of rainbow to like the eye or the beak and stuff like that. I wonder if there's any. No, there's no decals to the beak. So let's.
I think what's the fun concept with this character is that the magic's not actually like inside, but he's just more of like a listener or an interpreter. So I think a lot of mages come across as, I control the magic, but I think this character's coming across as very much like I can guide what I can guide.
I can perceive the magic.
Yeah. Like I can move you into its way opposed to I can move it into your way.
That's kind of cool.
No, I think I like it where it's at.
Yeah, okay. I was more thinking like, like the rainbow. Like I was just trying to think if there was a way to actually color. If we had, just figure out if there was a way to actually color a rainbow. Like,
could you chuck some of the rainbow onto the tiles on the floor?
Yeah. Something like that.
That's kind of I think there's something there, right?
Yeah, I think so. We can also do is because we've got that orange. Maybe we can add a little bit of the red back in. Oh, maybe here. Yeah, just in the middle there.
Yeah, I think Crab of Chaos says like a median or an electrical conduit in chat. And I think that's kind of a good spot. It's being aware of the limitations of your influence on a presence, and instead of trying to harness it, is to exist with it and like I guess help others to understand, exist, or be a part of. So very much a storyteller type magic.
Mm. All right. Oops, no. All right. And what we can do here is instead we can like make that like a transparent plastic, just kind of dull it a little bit, but it's still the same coloration.
There's definitely something there, but I think that there's one bright purple which is a little bit too much. I like that. But if we see the actual purple,
That one?
yeah, that one we could change back to more of a sandy color.
Okay. Where is my? There it is. All right, maybe the where is it? Maybe that one. What do you reckon?
I think at this point I'm worried that it's too much glow. Like it's starting to look more like a light source.
Okay. Well, what if we went with?
So I think changing the frequency of it. Oh, that's not bad. See the okay. So I love the color of the orange stones in it. Yeah.
Yep.
But I like the placement of the orange stones better as purple.
Okay.
Or as the magic ones.
Okay, so those ones there, and then
make the most of the ground back to that sort of scorched earth type thing.
so like that
Yeah,
one.
and then we can boost that magic color into those sparse stones, which you have the purple one now.
So that is these ones.
Yes.
All right. Cool. I like that. That's really cool.
No, it's nice. It's kind of like a Dreamwalker type thing.
I think so.
Go on. Name him.
All right.
Them.
Yep. Now we have to name them. All right. So I'm gonna save this real quick. Save lore. Here we go. Ugh, it always does that for the first time. Don't know why. Lore. There it is. Okay. So, while we're thinking about a name as well, we're gonna go through 3 very, very basic elements to every good character creation for me, but we're not gonna follow them. We're gonna find out what you do to create a good backstory. So my normal 3 questions are: why you connected to the story, why you invested in the success of the party, and why are you not just some NPC? Those are my three big questions. What do you do when you are designing the backstory of a character?
This is probably quite bad to say. I don't do that much planning when it comes to a backstory.
Nothing bad about that at all.
I think a lot of people get hung up on the small details. They want to say like, oh, this is my lineage, and this is my this is my drive, and this is why I'm connected. And it's very spoken, it's very linear, opposed to show don't tell.
I don't hate that at all. I think what it is it's reactive. And that's important because it means that you are a part of the story and a part of the world that is being built as it is being built. I definitely prefer it to the I'm going to use my backstory as an excuse for all of my stuff. You know what I mean? Like how did your character get a gun? Well, you see, I traveled the high seas. We're playing in the desert. I traveled the high seas and then marched 15 miles to the desert. And I brought my flintlock pistol with me.
You're like, nah.
Where I then came and learned the ways of martial arts. You're in the desert, where I learned the ways of martial arts from my pirate ship filled with monks. You know, like
it's so divisive.
Yeah, I'm not overly a fan of those type of characters and stuff like that. But yeah, no, being reflexive and stuff like that. I mean, so I mean, I imagine this dude as a guide, obviously, as you mentioned. I guess here would be my big thing. Guide from the Valley of Dreams. What would this character's motivation, or how would you come up with a motivation to leave the nest, as it were, to leave your starting zone? What's some of your favorite stories, or what's some of your favorite ideas for that?
Um, I think personal growth is usually a huge one, which I incorporate a lot.
Yeah.
Um, Usually, however I'm feeling on the day.
Fair.
um, yeah, like I think exploration's always a nice one, but usually I try and stay away from revenge
Mm.
or sort of um like anything which is to do with violence. I think that's a really poor reason to go out for a journey.
I kind of feel the same way about money. I hate
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate coming up with an excuse like why are you out going on an adventure? Money. It's like, yeah, like most
Yeah.
actually, you know what's really funny? Most of my characters, and I'm actually kind of disappointed about how many of these they kind of fit. I always have characters that are out to go and find and kill something like a monster, right? Like I play Monster Hunters so often. Like it's like, why are you out and adventuring? It's because I heard of this great and terrible beast with 3 eyes and 15 wings, and I want to go and slay it and put it on my wall, or I want to travel to the deep depths of the ocean because I heard of a kraken that I want to wrestle, or.
But that's fine. It's good. It's like it's worldly. Like you can kind of jump in and find out why they're doing, like who's encouraged them to go out. Why does the gear that they have exist to do this? Have other people tried before? There's narrative in that.
Yeah,
I
no,
just don't like the
absolutely.
ones where it's like, this person killed my father and now I have to kill them. It's like, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because you've already kind of got the whole story there. Like, they killed my father. Why did they kill your father?
It's like, did they
You
even
know,
know who your dad was, or is it like collateral?
yeah, like you got trod on by a horse as they walked past, or he had a heart
Yeah.
attack, or it'd be really funny. I'd
Sneezed on
love to
him
do the
once.
revenge plot, and it's like, I don't know your father. I didn't kill him. Oh, you mean that peasant who had a heart attack when I walked past him?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I'm not responsible for this. And then
yeah,
suddenly, like, their character's undone.
yeah. It was
Like,
it was that was like, geez, boy, that was like 15 years ago. Have you truly never come to me and just ask what had happened? Yes, no, I was minding the merchant stall, and he came up. He had a heart attack. I tried to resuscitate him.
it's like, yeah, that would be a brilliant little tangent.
That'd be hilarious. Okay, so I guess personal growth on a quest of personal growth.
Hmm. I think with this one, it was the desire to be lost.
Of dreams. Find themselves lost.
Which is a wonderful little oxymoron right there.
Yeah,
Find himself lost.
yeah, that's very true. You're an oxymoron. Okay, finds himself lost until the mist reveals the PCs. There you go. See, and that's why he joins with the group. The mist is sort of like trying to guide him, and he's like, the mist must be trying to tell me something. And then suddenly they bump into some people. People aren't in the Valley of Mists, at least not that aren't tree people. But why are you here? What are you doing? There's this curiosity, and maybe this is the way that they need to go, which is a great way to connect to a group, connect to a story, build those relationships. And I can kind of imagine this character also being one of those people who don't understand like the reality of things. So sometimes it could be like, what was it like? Sometimes it could be you suddenly see like oh my god, there's a freaking Hydra, and this guy's like, no, no, there isn't. It's like, no, there is a Hydra. We're not in the mist. We're not in the mist. That's a real Hydra.
But
You
is
sure?
is it dangerous to you or is it dangerous to us?
Yes. Or are we a danger to it?
Yeah, it's a real perspective, kind of like probably a little bit annoyingly introspective.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we need to run. It's spitting acid at us. Yeah. I think this character could be a lot of fun. All
Yeah,
right.
like I mean, I want to try and stay away from a crystal shop lady vibe, but there's
Oh yeah.
definitely there's a lot in there.
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely imagine when he eventually retires, he has a shop filled with like just knickknacks that he's collected from like
Yeah.
around his adventures and stuff. That he never sells anything, but his husband, or their husband, should I say, manages to like keep them going with other lucrative businesses. Like yeah, you know the shops we're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Where it's like I don't even know what you call them, like rich wives shops. Like yeah, you sell crystals in them. You sell like portraits of villas that like you custom made with seashells that you got from the beach. Yeah, that stuff. What should this
like
person's name be? Do you think?
Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit there, man.
Sorry. Yeah, my internet's starting to jump up a bit. Character name, and that will bring us to the end of the character build. How do you decide names commonly? What methods do you use?
I usually find a phonic sound and then change the front letter. I don't know. It's really odd.
All right, well let's find a phonic sound then. Let's pick an audience member's name and we'll phonically sound it out and then steal something from it.
Well, let's Diablo Bob's here, so let's take the LO out of Diablo. McBluff's got the CK, but we don't want a harsh sound. Dragon Eats World has got an ONE, except we can Anello. Onolak. No, that's a bit close to Unalak, isn't it?
A little bit.
And it's also got an anagram of alone in there. Damn.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it serves the character, but how frustrating. Game AU. We got LD, AULD, old. This with a K, cold. That's nice. KAULD. I mean, honestly, I'm happy with that. KAULD. Cold.
Cold. All right, cold. That's really cool. It's kind of has that like really nice rolling flow to it. All right, so we have cold. The Tengu. We didn't even pick a class, did we?
No.
The Tengu. Guess what this dude is?
He'd probably be out there going like, "What even is a class, guys?
What is a class? Aren't we all classes?"
Yeah, like I don't believe in a class system.
That'd be
I am what I am.
I imagine that there's some sort of maybe divination wizard or oracle. Again, maybe shaman if you're talking Pathfinder stuff. But anyway, yeah. All right. So, final touches. Oh, what about the ring around the eye? I didn't fix that.
I think that one's a your call because I quite like the concept which you brought in with the cartoon.
Yeah, I think maybe that's a little too purple.
Yeah, maybe he applies it every morning.
Yeah, I think maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's much better. What about eye color?
I like it. It's very avian.
Yep, we got a couple of other avian ones as well. We got the yellow, the pale yellow, the orange, and the red.
Go the orange for a second. Ooh, no, red looks like. Nah, it matches the coat too much.
And there's the bright yellow.
But
we can play around with all kinds of different colors. Purple.
Oh
God.
No, I think I like the pale. The pale was good. Pale and the bird.
Oh, do you want to see some cool eyes that I made? This is the one I made for your character, your undead character.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
Android.
Androids are wicked. Yeah.
Made hollow from Bleach.
Yeah, okay.
Flaming eyes I found, and these are just some weird ones. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. I just want to show off. Okay, so we'll go with the pale eyes. All right. Any final changes before we lock this in and place the order?
Honestly, it's so abstract and different to what I normally make. I quite like it.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, did you want anything like on the head, like hair, horns? Well, you can't have hair, you can't have beards. You can have eyebrows.
No, it doesn't need eyebrows. Oh, God, no. That's awful. Please stop.
Unibrow. That's not a unibrow.
No, it just gets divided.
Yep. Piercings. Let's see, what else do we have? Ooh. Eyeballs.
That's a lot.
Oh, I kind of want to see what would happen if we put the. Can we paint that? Oh my God.
Sorry, I've just got to look quickly. I think McBluff's insulting me. So, I just remembered where else I've heard Forgeling. The dirt. Oh, you got me. Actually, Forgeling, it came off a Magic the Gathering card.
I did it.
Mm. There's a card from the Ravnica set, no, I think it was very early on, called Greater Forgeling. And I didn't want to be Greater Forgeling because I thought that was lame. But I just pinched the last word off it.
Fair enough. These are messed up.
Ooh, no, I don't like that at all. He's gotten wildly more intense. Like he is smoking some dream mist.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Back to his regular eyes. And then horns. I mean, you don't need horns like in terms of like horns per se. But there's something to be said about a few of them.
Oh, remember the dirt for the mini McFluff? Yeah, chuck the dirt back on, man.
No, I did. I did. The dirt's on. There it is.
Is it on? Oh, okay.
It's there. It's there.
Oh, and Forgelings from Malifaux.
Oh yeah, they are from Malifaux. I've got a Forgeling.
Ah, sucked in. I heard the trash.
Actually, it's really funny because all they do is just set fire to shit when they walk past.
I approve.
Nice. All right. I think that is all we can really do, unless we want to turn this into a keychain.
Oh God, no.
It
looks like a Teletubby.
I hate it, but I love the fact that there's an option to turn it into a keychain.
It would be kind of cool for like a if you made a what the hell are they called? The robots.
Oh, the Warforged?
Warforged. Oh God, yeah. You like chucked one of those on a headless Warforged and just had like light emanating from it, and you built your own head.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our time, and of course to the end of the stream. I'm very happy to have had you here, mate. It's
Thanks, man.
fun. We've played together, and I've GM'd for you a couple of times now, but I think this is the first time we've actually had a chance to just like kind of just sit and like properly chill on stream and just do something creative. I really love this dude, and I'll definitely try and find a game to bring you in and actually get to play in Alestria with this character because I'm loving the vibe. I love this dude.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no,
I think it's good fun.
Because the thing is not many people actually like because I only run Alestria very rarely. Not many people get to really explore much of the areas around it. So this character is actually the closest thing to being Australian as far as like the cultures that I've got in my world go. Like and because it's so rare, I'm very very happy with this one. I can't wait to see it, and I'm really happy that that the first time I'd get to see an Australian character being played or an Australian cultured character being played in my game, it'd be you. Because, yeah, I couldn't think of anyone better, man.
Oh, that's lame. Thanks, man.
You're lame. Anyways,
yeah, I'm a little bit.
All right. So, once again, thank you to our dear friend Forgeling for coming and spending the day with us. Thank you, of course, to everyone who donated and helped us get our hype train. As promised, we have a short story that Forgeling is now going to whip out of his butt to tell you about this individual. We're going to put 2 minutes on the clock for your story. And I will put 2 minutes on the clock, and then we will go to a raid while I look for someone to raid. You ready?
All right.
Okay. Your time starts now.
Okay. What does it truly mean to be lost? I guess a fading memory or a thought that really only exists as a concept. Cold has taken his time to, well, maybe that wasn't originally their name, but has taken the time to wander out and forget so that they once again can find the origins of themselves, of their surroundings, the importance of the smaller and somewhat irrelevant pieces to, I guess, embody them with a message or a story, or just to simply dream. Cold has wandered into the forests of the rainbow mist, and has left once more, tracing the trails that are swept out by the winds or the breezes. Not knowing where they're going to go, but willing to lack the direction defined. This was got a good beat stick. I don't know.
No, okay, that is your time.
Okay, awesome.
All
Get
right.
out of here.
As Cold steps out onto the scorching lands of the Craglands, the sun belting down upon his face, for the first time his eyes adjust to an area that is not shrouded in the swirling, scintillating, prismatic array of colors presented by the overhead cloud fog that would otherwise serve as a canopy beneath the ravine of dreams. The first words that come out of his mouth are almost like a like a strange call, like the heralding of something new. And as he hears the sound of his own voice, not resonated by the chambers within, he almost surprises himself with a start. He begins to look around and take in the dull, muted colors of his clothes that, up until a few moments ago, were covered in this thin powder of almost like moth-like dust. He turns and he looks around and sees just this vast, empty, barren desert. And behind him, where he had come from, a small sloping canyon leading into this beautiful, multicolored array of swirling fog. He listens close. The sound of the wind, the crumbling of stone, the sounds of large beetles trampling along the huge badlands in herds. These are sounds that begin to paint an orchestral piece, a new concerto of the world that is slowly building and evolving around them. As they hold clutching into their hands the heavy staff that fell from high upon the sky so many years ago, the only conduit to this new strange land, he takes his first steps into this new and unexplored world. Yay!
Cool.
So,
Keen to see where it comes.
Yeah, there you go. So that is our Hype Train short story. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to go and raid Careful Cantrip, our dear friends, DM Dave, because we love DM Dave. You've played with DM Dave on.
It's good value, Malifaux.
Good, good, great. Okay, so again, be sure to throw in the raid emotes. Be sure to send in all the love, and thank you very much. Everyone for coming to join us today. Thank you for the donations. We are now up to almost $2,400. So that's crazy. We are going to get Rob, and we are going to get him hard, and it is no small part thanks to
We're going to get
guys.
Rob hard. Make sure you clip that one. We're going to get him hard.
Get him hard. Get him hard. No, wait. What have I done? Damn it. All right, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for joining us, Tom. Until we meet again, as always, from us to you, game hard or die trying. Bye, everyone.
Get Rob hard or die trying.